Hello, it's Amber, Blooms on the Hill, and this week we have woodland wedding. Woodland wedding. This week we're doing a woodland wedding, so which means it's mostly foliage and it's up at the Boutonnieres Hall, which is good because it's close. So lots of dark green, pine cones, lots and lots of foliage in her bouquet, foliage everywhere. Got to go do lots of Citus rhodus this week, ivy. What else? Some holly, anything that's dark. She only wants little pops of white when it comes to flowers, so I've got some spray roses I've ordered, so hopefully they're small. I'll probably have to pick off the heads of a few so that there's less flowers, and I've also ordered some wax flowers, so they're very small, so white ones of those, so there'll be minimal flowers in her things. I've also, this week's order has come today from the wholesaler for just normal bouquets. I didn't order specific colours, but they always match really well. So I've got yellows and I got some sunflowers this week. I haven't ordered those for a while, but white snaps, white chrysanthemums, and then some very pretty lemon chrysanthemums. I haven't ordered calendula before, so I thought I would. There's some very pretty orange roses here and also some lovely orange tulips. Really never ordered chrysanthemums, but not chrysanthemums, carnations, but really big ones, so they look nice and fluffy. And I did order some of this hypericum, these the little berry things, and I'm going to actually put some of these aside for the wedding. I think that would look nice in her bouquet. So there's one here that's got only a few on it, so anyway, so that's I've got to make up some bouquets. But this week we're doing a wedding. Mess as usual in here. This is the box from the wholesale flowers. I always have to pack it up high because I never fill it. So now I've got another one of those. But underneath there is my compost bucket. Ignore that. Peony rhizomes. This was an order that came the other day and I still haven't got them out. And up here, more peony rhizomes. Very excited for these. Super quick catch up as what's going on. Yes, peony rhizomes. I ordered 75 wholesale, so they've got to go in the ground now, and I've got to prep that ground by hand. So anyway, and I'm also trying to deal with dahlia tubers because I want to put them on pre-sale as soon as possible, like this month. So we're now in July. So my son came on the weekend, my eldest son and his girlfriend, and they helped me dig up the last of them. And I've got them everywhere in buckets, and I'm currently labeling and dividing some, but I really need to get these peonies in, so I'll show you what's going on down there. Just some of the dahlia tubers awaiting dividing station, which might have to move because it's outside and I'm going to get probably wet now. We've had 3 days of nice, beautiful, warmish weather. More tubers here, and then underneath my house, I store them under there. So there's more under there and the other side here. Yesterday I planted out some more seedlings in my flower patch here, some spring stuff. And one of my boys was putting some compost down for me. Down here is the peonies. Oh, not peonies. Down here is what is going to be a bit of the peony patch. So dahlia tubers were all in here. We got them out, which was great. And I'm now going to have to start to work over this area and figure out how much space I need. So they need to be about 1 metre apart. It is going to cut into this area so much. That's okay. They'll go in, they'll stay in. I want them up this top end, I think. And then leaving space for when the dahlias go back in. I don't think I'll be able to fit anything else in this area come summer, so up the top there'll probably be everything else. I don't know, we're just going to play it by ear. There is, however, more paddock space over this side, so if I need to cut into that. The other thing I did yesterday was start to plant out stuff in my hoop house. Here's my hoop house, which needs fixing at the end, and the windows also need sticking down because they're also broken, but I did buy some really good sticky tape. I've got some larkspur in here, some stock, some ranunculus. I've got some, I think it's tick seed, some gadisha, These sunflowers, I don't know how they're going to go. I think some violas as well. Still got plenty of space. We're just going to see how things go in here. Just see if I can get things to come a little earlier. We'll see. Not too sure about the ranunculus though, because they don't like the heat. So I've actually planted some outside as well. Ranunculus, these are ones I've started from seed. So as I said, ranunculus don't like the heat. And it's the problem I have each year is they do okay, and then we have this random hot day in September every year, and it just blasts them, and then they don't love it, and then they die. So we'll just see what happens. I've never grown them from seed, so I've got some that went in as corms, and they're getting quite large, and they're outside. So we'll just see. Anyway, now I need to do these bouquets. I've got less time today. I have to go to an appointment, and it's cutting into my day, and once again it took 3 hours to feed livestock this morning and do all of that. So we're just trying to get onto things, and I want to do this paddock, but I want to divide tubers at the same time. And I'll have to sit down and write thinking of this wedding, have to write a cutting sheet. I've started it, but I need to finish that, and then tomorrow is Wednesday, so I'm going to start cutting. Jonkles. That's encouraging. Okay, it's nearly 5 o'clock on whatever day it is, Tuesday, and I've just finished my cutting sheet list. So if you're doing a wedding, this is really vital. You don't want to overcut because even though I'm just doing foliage from random places, and it's not like it's costing me anything and wasting flowers, it's wasting my time if I overcut. So I had gone through with my first sheet and written down all the different types of foliage that I want to use for each type of arrangement, and worked out numbers, and then from that made a list of each type of foliage, and then just did a count and then put it there. So it's just a little bit clearer, so I know how much of each thing I need to get. It's not very helpful that I've got ivy written as just eyeballing it, how much I think I'm going to need on the arbor and everything else that requires the whole sort of drapey look. So my schoolroom is currently nice and spare, like floor space, so I'm just going to have to cut stuff starting tomorrow and store things in there. I'm expecting lots of spiders to drop out of everything, particularly the ivy, because it's all, that's going to be interesting trying to get that, because it's always quite clingy to the side of trees, and it's going to look interesting as I get it for passers-by watching me trying to collect that. So anyway, that's done. That's good. Now I'm going to feed some calves, feed some dogs, sort of bunker down for the night. It's been raining this afternoon. I managed to clear a little bit of my paddock for the dayers and put some pegs in where I want to put them. So I've got 20 pegs put in. So I've just got to keep clearing that. But it was quite annoying that I had to go out, and now it's raining. So anyway, we're getting there slowly. Hello. It's Wednesday, I think. I'm cutting foliage today. Clipboard. Best thing I bought myself for $2.50. So I've got my cutting sheet on it, and I've just picked some sort of a sagey green round leaf gum that we've got here. So that's the silver dollar gum, and I think the other one's called Blue Moon. I don't know. And then I got a longer leaf gum just from around, look at my hair, from around the paddock. It's got really cold all of a sudden. And I got some rosemary from my neighbour, so I only needed 13 pieces. I'm going to put 5 in the bouquet, and then corsages and buttonholes. So some pieces of that smelled delicious. I'm going to go up the road and get some bracken, just 3 pieces, and get some holly, because there's horrible holly on the side of the road near an I know the neighbour anyway, but it's on the roadside. He won't care. So I've got to get some of that, and some wattle, which has got, the wattle's budding up now, and hopefully it hasn't gone yellow yet, because it's about to explode into flower. But hopefully they're not too, I just want them because they're little beady things.
before they flower. So anyway, that's what we're doing now, cutting flowers. And the wholesalers have rung me and they've packed my order with the spray roses and the wax flowers. So they'll be on the way and they'll arrive tomorrow. So that'll be good. I think I might have too much, but better too much than not enough, really. And then I've discovered, actually, because she just wants little pops of white, I've got a little bit of white stock. I've got some winged everlasting. I probably could have done the pops of white on my own, but maybe not quite enough for putting in the arbor and other bits. But I don't know, better to be safe than sorry. So cool. All right, let's go. Yes, that's some bracken there. This is like my house just here, well, my farm anyway, so I'm kind of just nicking this. It's just scrubby, but I'm looking for really dark green pieces of it, and bits that are nice. That's a bit yuck. I just thought it would bush it out a little bit, so I just need 3 bits. Yeah, I think that'll do. I've never used this in a bouquet before. Random. Cutting some pine. This is like my paddocks behind here, so I don't feel so bad about cactus. I think actually these are actually in my paddock, or maybe they're not. I don't know. Anyway, so I need 10 bigger bits. I've got 18 smaller pieces and 10 bigger bits. So I think 2 for the arbor, and then I've got windows. So I just need to hack like a branch off, I think. Really? Anyway, we'll give that a red hot go. It looks like I'm setting up a Santa's workshop or something, like an elf raiding party. So much pine in here. I've got all this pine in here. It smells like a can of toilet cleaner has exploded or something. Just been Christmas tree shopping, or it's insane. I'm going to go get some holly now. I think I need 56 bits. It's going to be very prickly. I probably should have gloves, but it's just as a background foliage. I've got to get pieces of floral foam too. I'll have to go check if I've got any. Otherwise I've got to go to town either today or tomorrow and get bits of floral foam. I got some holly. It's very, very prickly. It's horrible. I got 6 pieces. It's very, like it's quite branches out. So I don't think I need as much as I thought. I don't really want to work with it either. Anyway, well, if I get stuck, I can always do a emergency run for more pine, because that's everywhere and it's not quite as horrible. Now, this is the wattle. This is where I always get it from the side of the road, and the buds are starting to go yellowish, which is a slight issue, but they might be all right, but because they'll flower fairly soon. So I was hoping they'd be greener, or they're more grey usually before they get like this. Anyway, we'll get some. I'm near Ballara. I just got the wattle from near Yanar, and now I'm near Ballara. I saw this when I was driving along one day and thought, oh, you could be okay, this shape thing. It's just a little sapling, and there's another one there. I have a notebook in my car and I write down anytime I see foliage that looks all right, so we're going to grab some of this. Right, I think it's about 4:30. So I'll show you what I've got so far. Okay, so large pieces of pine. A couple of them have actually got pine cones still attached, so that's not, they're really quite largish branches. They're in a big bucket in some water. There's 10 of those. There's this cypressy stuff. It's got this little nutty thing on it. Don't know. Oh, and little white flowers. Look at that. There's a fair bit of that. Nasty holly. I think there's 12 pieces of that. It's quite, no, 6. Oh, I don't know. There's enough. Because it branches out a lot, but it's very prickly, nasty. I don't know what this is. I saw this and went, hello, you're coming home with me. There's various different types of gum that I picked, and then I found these. So I thought, I'll grab you. That's my piece of hypericum, I don't know how to pronounce it, hyper something or other. Anyway, that's a piece of wholesale stuff that's going in the bridal bouquet. There's like nice grey, soft grey bits of gum in here too, like that sort of thing. I've still got to get more gum though. Bracken here. This is like a feathery grey thing, like a wattly sort of thing. Then there's wattle here, and then there's more of the first pine, but it's much shorter pieces. So that's sort of like a fair bit. And I don't know, probably almost enough really, but I've got to get this other gum, a fair bit of that. And then the ivy and the mistletoe. I think it's mistletoe, but I'll get the ivy in that tomorrow. I might pick the other gum tomorrow too. I'm running out of daylight. Just checked my list, and the other thing I was going to get was some camellia. I've got quite a large camellia bush. It's very light green on the top, but there's some darker bits down the bottom, and I want 16 pieces. I'm not sure if I'm going to get 16. We'll see how we go. Camellia. I didn't really count the pieces because I don't know why. I'm just having a look around the garden for anything else dark. But I'll get I think I'll go get the gum that I need tomorrow. It's this little, it's got little small leaves. It's really good. It's just near my dam. If you might have seen me pick it before, it's really handy. It's going to require me to take the ladder though, I think. Just having a look at my lemon tree. It's a little bit too bright green, so that's going to be no good. I think I might have probably enough though, because I think the pine's going to take up a lot of space. Like I'll be able to, under the windows that I have to decorate, I'm just going to be able to put a branch of pine and then put a little bit of, thread a little bit of other foliage in there. Not a lot, and then some little pops of these white flowers. So if I get desperate, what am I looking at now? There's a bit of penstemon in the garden, that sort of foliage. I've still got to get the ivy. That's going to take up a lot of space as well on the arbor and everything else. Hopefully I can get it off the trees. That's going to be fun. That's going to be tomorrow's, I hope it's not raining, tomorrow's fun job. And I got to go check now to see if I've got any floral foam. If not, it's a trip to Churchill, which is sort of 25 minutes to get some of that. But it's getting close to calf feeding time and all that jazz now. I'll do some jazz hands, all that jazz. Oh, I do have some alstroemeria there that's very dark. Bits that aren't flowering. Anyway, we'll find some stuff. We're going to be okay, I think. Cupboard that you're currently in, and I found some floral foam, one piece and a little extra bit, and that'll do. That's for the meadow box that I've got to make. And then there's a sort of another meadowy boxy thing, so I found another piece that can go in this over the top. I know floral foam's bad, but it's the easiest thing, man. I'll tell you what. So that there's the signing table, and she's going to have a small meadow boxy thing on the ground next to it, and then she wants the ivy to creep up the leg. So good luck with that, Amber. Yeah, so I'm going to have to try and be creative with fishing wire and rubber bands and magic. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. All right, so I feel a lot. No, Fluffy Foot, I don't have any food for you. It's my big chicken. It's a Brahma. It's white. It's got fluffy feet. Hence the stupid name. I've just got to get what I call my small, slightly rounded leaf gum from the dam area. And I think I've put down about 40 something pieces of that. Probably don't need quite that much, but I'm going to cut a fair bit anyway. And the ivy and whatever that creepy vine is that's all over stuff when I drive past it near where I live. So I think it might be mistletoe. Yeah, so if I can manage to get that off without killing myself, because it's next to the road in not a good spot. It's kind of everywhere, but the bit I want. Anyway, we'll just put the hazard lights on and hope no one plows into the back of me while I'm doing it. So that'll be tomorrow's job. don't have to go to Churchill and get foam. Now we've got to feed some calves. Hi, Russell. What have you been rolling in? It's a daily thing, washing that dog. This one's Pebbles. This one is Bo, and this one is Benny. I didn't name any of them. I think my husband actually named a fair few of them. And they're having their milk. It's powdered milk. Are you nearly finished? Pebbles, you're falling behind, mate. Hello, morning. Now, it's Thursday. So here's my wax flower. It arrived. That's probably way too much pops of white for this wedding. And I got spray roses as well. These are lovely. So there was 3 bunches of those and 3 bunches of wax flowers. So it's going to be horrible having to pull off some of these heads so that there's minimal. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Now today I did get some floral foam that I found here, but I'm going to have to go and buy some more today because I forgot about the arbor. So I've got to go to town and do that. And then I've got to pick the ivy, which is a fair drive to go get that because looking for ivy and big bits and bits that I reckon that I can get off trees. So I've got to cut that. And I think it's mistletoe. I think that's what it is. I wanted to use that. I don't know how well that'll last out of water. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I don't know. But I've got to go down to my dam area and cut some gum from there. So that's what we're doing today. Well, I'm down at my gum that I always pick off, and it's got fluffy white flowers on it, which I'm not too sure. It's probably a good thing, actually. But I've got my ladder, my little step ladder, so hopefully I can... it's all up higher. My husband keeps offering to lift me up in the bucket in the tractor, but I don't want to do that. That sounds very dangerous. Okay, I've come all the way to Melbourne North, and I'm parked on the side of the road where this is ivy stuff. My car's telling me it's 8 degrees outside, and it's raining, and it's windy, and it's cold, and I don't want to go out in it, but I've kind of got no choice. Anyway, so I'm going to try and cut this and not drown in the process, or freeze to death. I got a little bit, and then it decided to rain really heavy. So we're going to sit here and put the heater on in the car. Good morning. It's Friday. Wedding's tomorrow. I've just been up the hole and I measured, didn't take my tape measure, I improvised with a dog lead, measured the arbor for the bride and sent her the measurements because she forgot to measure it yesterday while she was at the hall, and she's going to buy material to make a curtain or something this morning. So that's done. I've just walked into my schoolroom. Check. Do you think I overpicked? Check this out. Look at this. There is stuff everywhere. I don't think I'm going to run a foliage. And there's my, turn the light on, some pine cones that I collected quite a while ago. There's a few more in the car. So this is everything. I'm going to pinch some of my gum that I harvested yesterday to make up some bouquets for the bakery today. I'm only doing 3. I'll run those down and buy some dog food, and then we'll get stuck into this. Very cheerful yellow, orange and white bouquets this week based on the material that arrived. A bit of fun. Okay. I'm going to get to work now doing bouquet first. She wants something that's not tight, not like a ball shape, but not long and drapey. So I will put probably a little bit of the ivy in it, little bits poking out, but not drapey. A little bit of the wax flower. I'll probably have to pull apart slightly, pull some roses off, which is going to be sacrilegious, but anyway. Yep, so we're going to make it up as we go along, which is generally what I do with bridal bouquets. And then we'll do buttonholes and corsages. Oh, I might do those later today, actually, but I've got 2 meadow boxes to do, a smaller one and a sort of a medium size. So I think that'll be the first things to do. is what I've come up with for a bridal bouquet. It's got little pops of wax flowers and a spray of this I thought of the word before, but I can't remember now. A spray rose. There's too many roses on there, so I've just cut 2 heads off. I think I want to keep these 2 down here. I want to remove that one. Oh, it feels terrible cutting them off. And that one, I think. There we go. I think that's better. I think it needs just a bit of ivy somewhere. Okay, it's a bit hard to see with the background, but I've got this trailing piece of ivy in there. I'll hold it up against a wall and you can, but I'm actually quite happy with that for something that's a bunch of leaves, basically. Yeah, I'll turn it around, you can have a look. Okay, is that better? Can you see it a bit better there? Like, with that sort of sticky uppy. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might do it, I reckon. Okay, here we go. A little bit of vine poking out the side and a ribbon. It's a bit hard to see, I can't get back that far, but I'm quite happy with that. It's very different, it's a bit of fun. Okay, so the bridal bouquet is done. I know I've got the beanie on because it's freezing in here. It's like I'm outside. No, I wanted to do that first. Normally I don't do the bridal bouquet first. Usually I'll do reception type flowers and ceremony type flowers first, or certainly the bridesmaids bouquets. And then I give myself a kind of warm up into the bridal bouquet. But because this is so different, that's going to determine everything else really. So now I'll do the 2 meadow boxes. So there's a smaller one for the signing table, and the ivy's got to somehow creep up the leg of the table because the box is going on the floor, and then the meadow box that will go with the arbor. So I'll just, better soak my floral foam. So I'll get onto those, and the corsages, and they're pin-on ones, and the buttonholes obviously pin on. I hope I've got enough pins. I better go check that. They have such short stems, so I'm always like to do them sort of as late as possible, but I'll do those late Savo or even this evening. But I better go do the floral foam and look for pins. All right, these things are a bit of a bugger to shut, but anyway, that's done. So now we've got heaps of foliage, so we're going to make it as dark as we can, the base. We might start with these are big pieces of pine for the windows and the arbor, and I've got smaller bits over there behind here. And I'm going to use this as a bit of a base, that as a bit of a base, and then there's nasty prickly holly here, so that'll also be a base too. I might stick that in kind of after a bit if I use it at all, because it's going to be prickly. So anyway, we'll just have a bit of a fluff around and see how we go. Right, we're coming along. This is probably the bizarrest thing I've ever done, but I quite like it. It's actually, I'm enjoying the process of being creative with this. Then there's a piece of holly here and here and at the end, so it's a little bit deadly, but it's all good. It's coming together. Okay, that's the, get out of the way. That's, I put roses, 3 roses, very basic, some wax flower there and a bit there. It just needed, it's got to break up all that green. It really does. I'm really quite happy with that actually. I've got to put the ivy in, but I will wait and I'll do that once I get it up there tomorrow, because it's got to snake up the leg of the table. So that might happen, but it might happen later today, or it might happen tomorrow morning, because I've got to do an arbor tomorrow. But I've got until 2, so I'm happy with that. Now I've got to do the bigger one. Right, that's the bigger one. Quite happy with that too. It might get some pudging once it's up there.
And I can't remember whether it's having vine coming out of it somewhere potentially, but that'll be easier to do at the hall. It's 1 o'clock, just after 1, and I've done the 2 boxes. I've put aside some stuff here for corsages and buttonholes, but I can grab any more things out of the garden or pinch some more of this. Now I'm going to go up the hall and take these big branches and attach those, fishing line and nails and stuff, to the windows, and some of the other pine stuff. I don't know, I'm making this up as I go along. And I do need some more of this wattle, though I used a lot of that in both of the meadow boxes, and it's a good backfill stuff, so I'll go and get some of that. It's near, I'll go and attack that wattle bush. So they've got some big trees there. So I can go and get some more of that for the arbor. Because, yeah, I might not need it all, but I feel safer if I have enough foliage. It's better to have too much than not enough. All right, I'm at the hall. So I've got to dress these windows. Now, these ones don't have a ledge. So there's going to be some nails and some fishing wire, and the other ones do have a ledge. These are newer windows. The other ones are the original old ones, but these have got a ledge on them. I still might have to use nails and fishing wire so things don't fall off, but that's okay. I'm assuming the bride and groom will come today and then clear this. The arbor's actually outside, out here. I've got to carry that in. And obviously like move some stuff around, I suppose. So they're going to get married at that end. The arbor's going to be down there. Now, I really hope I've got nails with bigger heads. Hope this is easy. If this gives me grief, it's going to be bad. Okay, so I've decided to do just sort of one side, and this has got this other pine stuff in, and then this one, that was the first one I did. And then I still haven't finished this one, but keep in mind I'm going to add wax flowers to them and a bit of gum, maybe not. Yeah, so I'm going to add flowers to them tomorrow. Yeah, I potentially could add it to it tonight because the wax flower would still be all right out of water, but I've got to make sure I got enough of the arbor first. So yeah, and they're trucking along okay. It's a little bit fiddly, but anyway, we're getting there. All right, pine cones and stuff. Got to fill that corner, so I've still got to put extra bits in them, but all right, I'm picking more stuff. I've just finished the windows, sort of. I've still got to add some wax flower and a few extra bits, just a bit of pop of white on those, and sort of finish them. But I'll do that tomorrow once I see how much material I've got left after I do the arbor. And I've just went back in towards Yanar and got some more wattle, which is sort of the fill that I used in the meadow boxes, or part of the fill. So sort of kind of run out, and I need more for the arbor, so everything matches. And I'm just going to get a bit more of this pine. I used a fair bit for the windows. I do have a couple of big bits which are still in the car now, for the arbor, but I'm just going to get some more, cut off a few big branches, big-ish, but with lots of bits, so that I definitely don't run out tomorrow, because it will be very painful tomorrow, because I've got to go into Hazelwood and drop off bouquet, buttonholes, corsages. So that's a trip which will take an hour out of my morning. The ceremony's at 2. So I've still got to do my normal chores in the morning. So yeah, everything's tracking along really well. I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks when it finishes, but we'll just get this before the weather comes in. It's after about 4 o'clock now. So we're getting there, and I'll do those buttonholes and corsages when I get back too. They won't take too long. Okay, so I've just wrapped up floral foam in chicken wire. That was fun. Not fun. And I'll soak those blocks tomorrow. I know this stuff is evil, but what are you going to do? It's going to make my life so much easier. So I'm going to do corsages and buttonholes now. So there's 4 buttonholes. So I'll do the buttonholes first and then the corsages. The dog is sniffing around on the floor. Anyway, do these and then I'll show you what I've done. Okay. What I've come up with is, can you see that? That's just a little bit of bracken at the back and a bit of rosemary at the side, a little bit of gum and wax flower. It's really simple. I haven't tied it up yet. It smells of rosemary. It's lovely. I like that. That's just simple, really nice. And blokes don't, you know, want fancy, so. Okay, so they're done. So there's 3 like this with the bracken and the rosemary and the gum and the wax flower. And then for the groom, I put a little rose in there as well. So I've left the stems longer because I'm going to put them in little test tubes of water, and tomorrow morning I'll cut them shorter and put the pins in them now so you don't forget. These are the little test tubes. They have lids on them. I just get them from it's like a $2 shop, you know, like a cheapy shop, and it's in the craft section, and they're the best thing and then I stand them all. I'll put all 4 of them can go in just in this jar so they don't fall over. And then each one will have, let's not drop it. So they can just stand in water like that. They're really cheap. And then everyone's corsage, or anyway, everyone's buttonholes got its own little drinking thing, and then they'll all just stand up in here. So yeah, I mean, if I don't, and I won't get them back unless sometimes you find that they leave things for you at the hall or wherever. But it's no biggie if I don't get these back because they're not expensive. So we can just whack them all in there like that. Tip. That's a corsage. There's even a bit of ivy in there. It's got camellia leaves, wax flowers, bit of rose, bit of gum. That's a little pretty bit on the side there. This bit there. Put a ribbon on it. So I've got to make 2 more and then I better go feed calves. It's getting dark out. Corsages done. They are all similar, but same but different. So yeah, they can dance fight over those. Who gets which one? Got a bit of ivy in those as well. This one's got a bit of rosemary as well. But it's ivy, camellia, gum, wax flower, roses. And that one's just got the rosemary. So happy with those. Done. Corsages in test tubes. 2 pins each for those because they're bigger. Buttonholes fitting waiting. Bouquet waiting. Mess decreasing. A lot of it's in the back of my car to go to the hall tomorrow. As long as we don't forget this and this gum as well. Yep, still lots of stuff there to make the arbor, and there's heaps in the back. So we've got plenty of stuff. So now it's dark. We'll go feed calves. Saturday morning, wedding day. Arbor is here. Trying to attach floral foam. It's really hard. Thankfully, the window things haven't fallen off through the night. Okie dokie, this is what we've got so far. So it's got pine, it's got this other pine, a bit of wattle, and I've just put some holly in it, which you sort of can't see it because it's so dark, but it made all the difference. Behind this curtain, they've got little fairy lights, so it's going to look really pretty. And I've got to get some flowers, and I'm going to put some gum in there, which really softens it, and then the flowers. Right, I think I'm happy with that. And now I've got to put vines, but I might go in a minute and deliver bouquets and buttonholes before we get, because I've got to have vines snaking across the top, and then from the meadow box, vines up there. And somehow, it's not even going to be noticed, vines on the table, but we might decorate the piano too with some vines, and I might finish off the windows, but it's only about 10, so I've got a fair bit of time.
we're done. Really pleased with how that all turned out in the end. I probably got up at the hall about 9. I had to leave at about 10 to go and take the bouquet and buttonholes, etc. to the person's house. So that was about an hour's round trip. So I think all up, I probably spent about 2 hours at the hall doing, just pudging up the windows with some flowers, doing the little aisle decorations, doing the arbor, which came together faster than I hoped. I put extra stuff on top of the piano. And then there was 2 tables I put a little bit of things on as well, a bit of ivy and pine cones, which took 2 seconds, and I had the material, so it was sort of tied everything in. Really, really pleased with how it turned out. Looks so nice with the fairy lights on. So I hope the bride likes it. So thanks for joining us today. Hope you learned something, enjoyed watching the winter wonderland woodland wedding. It was a bit of fun. It was really nice to do something different. We'll catch up with you next time. See ya.